Okay, so this is the third week in a row that Jordan Davis gets outsnapped by 3D tackles. We also talk about a possible trade candidate on the offensive side of the ball. Speaking of trades, Fangio was straight up asked today about a possible move to inquire somebody for the defense. You gotta hear what he says. Plus, we break down this exotic look from Fangio and how the Eagles confused Joe Burrow. But that's not all. We also look at Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean really playing well together. And of course, more on Jalen Hurts and this under center offense. But first,
let's put the little sexy ass Kelly Green back on.
That's right. Eagles rocking Kelly Green at home in the link when we host Doug Peterson's return. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Tall Podcast. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. A lot of talk early in the week was how good this Eagles offense was, and rightfully so. 37 points while having a balanced attack. I'm talking 20 pass attempts for Jalen Hurts. By the way, 80% completion percentage, 22 carries for Saquon Barkley, and then you get the Kenneth Gainwell runs, plus Jalen ran the ball 10 times. Again, when you're winning by a lot, you should be running the clock out, running the ball in the third and fourth quarter, and that's what the Eagles did. But we got to throw some love to the defensive side, who started to turn up in the second quarter, but was really lights out the second half. And two people that are deserving to be talked about are the highest graded linebackers in the NFL Sunday, week 8. First, Zach Bond, 91.3, and number 2, Nakobe Dean, a 90.7. It's been a long time since we could say that straight up. They combined for 21 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. But listen to Fran Duffy break down how important they were on this one defensive play. And I will say before I play this clip, I don't like some of the matchups, and you won't like it either. However, if the blitz that you send gets home while throwing an exotic look like this, even a top-notch quarterback like Joe Burrow can't dissect it quick enough to get it to where it needs to go.
The first drive of the third quarter, next snap of empty from a pure regular down and distance situation from the Bengals offense. And again, you've got 12 personnel. So you've got 1 running back, 2 tight ends on the field with 2 receivers. Now, how do they deploy these receivers? You've got Jamar Chase as the number 3 receiver here to the offensive left. You've got the running back Chase Brown at the bottom of the screen. Take note of who is lined up against who defensively. You've got basically Nakobe Dean lined up over Jamar Chase. You've got Darius Slay lined up over the running back. You've got Nolan Smith lined up over Mike Gesicki, who's been one of their top target getters, especially on third down in this game with no T. Higgins. So if you're Joe Burrow, you're sitting back, all right, this looks like it's going to be zone coverage. It might be the cover 6 that we saw on that very first snap of empty earlier in this football game. But is that what he gets? No, absolutely not. This is man-to-man coverage and a blitz from man-to-man coverage. The Eagles are sending Zach Bond on a stunt. He's going to come in clean. You've got Nolan Smith one-on-one with Mike Gesicki going down the seam. But more importantly, you've got Nakobe Dean one-on-one running down the seam with Jamar Chase with basically no safety help. You've got a post player on the other side of the logo. That's Nakobe Dean one-on-one running downfield with Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow is flummoxed by what he sees. This is not what he expected at all. He's got Bond crushing down, so he says, you know what, let's just kill this play. Let's play for third down, and he puts this one into the dirt. This is the kind of like unsoundness that a lot of the best defenses in football right now are doing. You see these kind of things with certainly with Brian Flores in Minnesota and with Steve Spagnuolo in Kansas City. And here you see Vic Fangio playing games with the Bengals offense.
Remember, Nolan Smith was guarding Jamar Chase on the first touchdown. Didn't like that, but there was no exotic look to it, no blitz. So you got Nolan matched up with Jamar Chase after he motions, and it's an easy pitch and catch. This time, Fangio came with an answer. As for a question that Fangio answered at his presser today,
the trade deadline coming up, is there any position that you're advocating for, want to see a move at?
No.
So you feel good about the kind of state of the roster defensively then?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to improve your team drastically this time of year. I mean, I think if you look at some of those trades over the years, they really haven't had the effect that some teams were hoping for. Unless it's a trade that, where you're getting a guy that you're going to have for a few years, where it's more of a bigger trade than swapping guys, trading the sixth for a seventh, those type things.
When you mentioned the trade deadline with players, maybe not matching up to what teams wanted or needed out of them, it sounds like you studied that a little bit. Why don't you think that performance comes that quickly?
Well, I mean, each and every case is different, obviously. Sometimes the guys come in with no prior relationship with the coaches and everything's totally new. I think if the guy had been with you somewhere along the line and has system knowledge and comfortability, that helps. Every scenario is a little different. Every position's a little different too.
Which, as of recent, Robert Quinn didn't hit, Kevin Byard didn't hit. It's who's the player? Is it a rental? Is it a long-term thing? If we're talking Myles Garrett, if we're talking Max Crosby, these ain't rentals. These are guys who will be plug and play. One of the easiest positions to plug and play is probably an edge rusher. Staying with the defense, but talking about something that is kind of concerning to me. The interior defensive line snap count. Now, I understand the last couple weeks could be game flow, blah, 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 blah. Bengals wanted to pass the ball. But once again, 45 snaps for Jalen Carter, 28 snaps for Milton Williams, 25 snaps for Moro Ajomo, 22 snaps for Jordan Davis, and 5 snaps for Thomas Booker. This is 3 weeks in a row where the Eagles' defense looks good, and Jordan Davis' snap count is lower, higher against the Bengals than it was against the Giants due to the game flow, but still, Ajomo and Williams continue to outsnap them, not by a lot, but still more involved. Now, before we hear another play breakdown by Fran Duffy, he's talking about Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and a couple other people playing in sync. Look at this tweet from Thomas R. Peterson. Quinyon Mitchell's matchups. Jamar Chase, 2 catches, 16 yards. Mike Evans, 2 catches, 19 yards. Chris Olave, 2 catches, 23 yards. Malik Neighbors, 1 catch, 9 yards. Drake London, 1 catch, 5 yards. Amari Cooper, 1 catch, 10 yards. And Judy, Njoku, Shaheed, Mooney, Slayton, Burton, all 0 catches. And I don't have it recorded here, but he also has not allowed a touchdown. Eagle Nation, we got one of them ones. He's going to be locking down one side of the field for a long time. Quinyon Island. But let's hear from Fran Duffy on the 2 rookies.
This is an awesome rep from the 2 rookie DBs here for the Eagles. What the Bengals are trying to do here is run cross-country dagger, where you've got your basic dagger concept on the back side of this. So you've got that vertical stretch, that clear-out route from the number 2 receiver. Andre Yoshivas is running the deep in cut, the deep dig. That's where the ball is going to end up going here as the second progression. But you can see that Joe Burrow, he takes a peek at the cross-country through route, that deep crossing route from Jamar Chase. Now, he looks at Chase first because he's got his best receiver running into the open field, but you could see the depth here that Quinyon Mitchell gets to try and take this route away. The Eagles are playing cover 6 here on this play, so Quinyon is playing with cover 2 technique, so he does a great job of getting depth and taking this away. Reed Blankenship over the top, he does a good job of reading this concept as well. Credit to the linebackers for passing this off, because ideally, if you're the Bengals, you would love Zach Bond to run with this cross-country route and create a better throwing lane for Joe Burrow to hit this dagger. But Bond does a good job of passing that route off, and then he gets good depth, does a nice job of trying to take that passing lane away. But I love Cooper DeJean here on the backside. He sees this coming the entire way. Look at him pass off that clear out route. He sees that he's going vertical. He takes that peek back, and he sees here comes the in cut. And he does an outstanding job of getting underneath this throw. Just needs to finish. Outstanding job there from Quinyon Mitchell, starting to take away that cross-country route. Zach Bond passing that route off and then getting depth to force that firm touch throw from Burrow. And then Cooper DeJean nearly finishing it off for the interception. These guys in the back 7 are doing a really nice job for the Eagles defense.
This Eagles defense from before the bye week and after the bye week is night and day. And Cooper DeJean is the biggest difference. He's flying around making plays. But the defense in general is starting to come together. They're starting to really trust each other and Fangio's scheme. We're talking about the D-line with getting pressure, some exotic looks, stunts, guys playing off each other, passing things up. Quinyon blocking up one side, and DeJean just roaming the field, tackling machine, it looks pretty good. Now, Slay is going to get an MRI today. We'll figure out his problem, but Isaiah Rodgers could also be a spark in his secondary. Slay talks about it all. We'll get to that at the very end of this because I do want to flip it over to the offense, starting with a possible trade candidate. Fan side reported Eagle players that could be on the block, and he decided to mention Kenneth Gainwell. Reason why being, it would be a shocker to see Gainwell traded, as the Eagles don't have much depth behind star running back Saquon Barkley, Alford said. However, with Gainwell set to become an unrestricted free agent next season, the Eagles could put out some feelers to see what the potential market is for him. The 25-year-old has outplayed his draft standing since being taken in the 5th round of 2021 NFL Draft. Like he said, it would be a shocker. I don't believe the Eagles would even trade Kenneth Gainwell simply because the ground game is too important, and he's been a good complementary backup to Saquon Barkley, coming in for some nice catches for first downs, some nice runs. And as the season continues, the ground game is going to be a huge part of the Eagles' success. I do like Will Shipley out of Clemson, who should have had a touchdown if it wasn't called back for a stupid hold. However, who do we have behind him? The depth ain't there. Although Kenneth Gainwell will be an unrestricted free agent next year, and I don't see him signing back to Philly. There's going to be a team that gives him more money than what we can give the backup running back after paying Saquon Barkley. Kenneth Gainwell will not be an Eagle next year, so that's why I think he threw the Kenneth Gainwell trade out there as if the Eagles could maybe try to get something now, but it ain't worth costing us the season because, again, we might only have him for the rest of the season, but I think he's going to be big in complimenting and keeping Saquon fresh, so I don't want to risk it. Unless the team that's trading us a long-term possible star pass rusher wants Kenneth Gainwell in it to sweeten the deal, save us a draft pick, then maybe. Other than that, I think you got to let Kenneth Gainwell stay on the roster, help out this run game, and then I'm going to wish him the best luck in the offseason when he moves to another team, hopefully with some jewelry. Speaking about RBs, Frank Gore was on a podcast and had this to say about the best running back in the NFL. There's a lot of great running backs in the NFL, but the most talented one right now, I'm going to have to go with Saquon Barkley. He's big. He's fast. He can make you miss. Something I didn't see him do before is that he's starting to drop his shoulder on people now. He does it now. He's the most explosive. But also, Derrick Henry is starting to do his thing too. Hey, right now, it's Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry as the 2 top dogs. But the first player out of the great Frank Gore's mouth was Saquon Barkley. And Kay Adams put up a graphic on her channel, Run Eagles Run, week 1 through 6 compared to week 7 through 8. Now, I know comparing 6 games and 2 games is a big difference, but let's see what she got to say. Pass attempts a game, 31.4 through the first 6 weeks, 17.5 through the last 2. Rush attempts per game, 31.2 through the first 6 games, 42 rush attempts in the last 2 weeks. Rush yards per game, 146.2 the first 6 weeks, 215 the last 2 weeks, and last but not least, points per game, 21.2 week 1 through 6, 32.5 leads the NFL. One thing that also needs to be noted is A.J. Brown played 2 out of them 6 games, but he also played 2 other games. So Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and Kenneth Gainwell are the ones running the ball, but the threat of Smitty and A.J. definitely opens up the running lanes. As for Jalen Hurts, before the bye week, Hurts only had 5 games in his NFL career with a passer rating of 127 or higher. Now he's averaged that over a 3-game span. Let that sink in. So he's starting to play his best ball, and the Eagles are starting to win by 20 points a game. Now, Hurts' passer rating for the season is up to 98.6, which ranks 9th highest in the league, and his 69% completion percentage ranks 6th. Interesting. Also, let me show you this graphic of the quarterbacks that lead the league in interceptions. Jalen Hurts not on this list. When he was at the top of this list, that's all I heard. Jalen Hurts, interception. Jalen Hurts, interception. Now he's not on the top, and it's quiet. But Mayfield, Mahomes, Love, Prescott, Rodgers, Cousins, Smith, Lovey, Purdy. I skipped Minshew, but it is what it is. Why aren't we hearing it now? Interesting again. Now, before we get out of here, let's hear Big Play Slay talk about Quinyon Mitchell and then talk about Cooper DeJean through his eyes.
Shout out to my young boy, man. Q almost had a pick. It was a good thing that he just caught it, y'all. You know, he been dropping hella 5 picks right now. And the fact that he turned around speed, caught it, even though he was out of bounds, I just want my boy to touch his pig skin. You know what I'm saying? And his hands. So you can just feel the love of an interception that's almost happened. Like he still caught it. So he doing his thing right now because right now, as you can see right now, 28 defensive backs have been targeted at least 33 times. Our boy Q ranked number 1, you know, out of those 28s because he's playing great defense, great lockdown stuff. He's gonna be. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Q, my boy. I love Q to death, man. He been growing up with me every day, man. It's like my little brother. He is gonna be elite in this league for a long, long time. And my boy Cooper, cool. He's playing amazing in his nickel position. For him playing from outside and learning nickel, I think this need to be his permanent position. I think he gonna be one of the best and the highest paid nickels in the NFL when his time come up because he plays that game so smart. He could have had a pick today. He's a willing tackler. Like, he will be the best nickel in his league. Like, they gonna have a great nickel corner combo for a long, long time. When I say how he put his foot in these 2 draft picks. These first 2 rounds, he put his foot in there. All the other ones playing out too. They were damn great as well. You know what I'm saying? They all playing at high level as well. But these first 2 picks, you know, if you get drafted in the first 2 rounds, they expect you to be an immediate impact. You know, some guys take you under their wing and just try to slide you up. Like how we did Dean. You know what I'm saying? How we did Coop. We kind of like ease the man. Now he's a selling. You know what I'm saying? But Q had to get thrown in the water. You're a first rounder, you get thrown in the water and you get ready to go out here and fight. And he been holding his own. But Coop just eased his way in, coming off that hamstring injury. All he's just seeing do is getting better and better. And Bonte doing a great job mentoring him, getting him right, getting prepared every week to make sure he play at his best ability. So, man, shout out to them young boys right now. They go be hella 5 players for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Y'all got some ones, man. And look, I cannot wait to sit back and watch these boys and just understand that these guys came under my wing. I love them like my own. So I appreciate them boys out here really making me feel like a super great vet because they out here performing. And anybody that had doubts about them guys, they proving all the doubters wrong. So shout out to my young boys, man.
Mad respect for the OG. Now let's hear what he thinks about how he played versus the Bengals. He thinks he played good, but he does call himself out a little bit for that 41-yard catch.
My individual performance, and I played smooth. You know what I'm saying? I gave up that 1 go ball, and it was a damn good dot. Like, damn good throw, damn good catch. I really hoping it was going to be an OPI or something because his hand was all in my chest and my face, and I'm trying to swipe, you know what I'm saying? Because if I would have grabbed his arm, they would have called holding. So I tried to swipe his hand out the way, and by the time I swiped it, he was going for the catch. Dot throw, you know, made a big-time catch on me right there, and that was my only bad play of the day. And look, Eagle fans, y'all got on my ass for that play. And I think I played a damn good game. I got me a 3rd down stop, too. You know what I'm saying? Got me a nice 3rd down stop in the end zone. Bam, got up, celebrated with my hand on the chest. Like, dang. But, hey, now on to the next play. Because, boy, look, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I got on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Instagram hit me up. Slay, you bombed up. Da-da-da, you old. Da-da-da. I'm like, God damn. Hey, shit. I got to have perfect games to get not talked about, fans. Goodness. I love y'all. I mean, come on. I love y'all. Please. I mean, this is the NFL, y'all. Gosh, 1 play. It should have been caught, though, because I'm still bloated by it. I'm still hurt with it because I was in great position, and I could have made the play on a different way if I wouldn't have fought how I was. We was teaching all week to stay upfield shoulder because these guys throw great deep balls. And I played it even because I didn't really think he was going to throw it to the rookie, and he fucking did. And that young boy is fast as fuck, and God damn it, he caught the ball on me. 41 yards, like, you got 41 yards on top of your fucking dome. But I made plays all day. But, yeah, man, other than that, I played a very, very solid game. I think a great tackling game. Gave it that 1 catch for the 41 yard and 1 PBU. and had probably like good 4 or 5 tackles, man. So played damn good, played damn good.
With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Drop the muscle emoji. Continue to show that Philly strength. Also, leave a comment. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. Again, some of y'all teach me some things. Last but not least, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Half of y'all who watch are not subscribed. Also, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss these. I go by Philly Mike. We out.